A very good morning to all the students. So, we all know that we have been doing this chapter number 4 of our chemistry portion, that is structure of atoms. And in this chapter, we have read a lot of things like we know that atoms are divisible and they have different parts called as protons, electrons, and neutrons. So, today we'll start with the new thing that have you ever thought how the discovery of electrons were made? Like, who was the scientist who find out that there are electrons or even protons or neutrons in an atom? Because previously it was believed that the atom is not divisible, because in the Dalton's atomic theory we have read that atom is indivisible, but then we have read that atom is divisible. So how did the discovery of electron came into existence? How did the scientists knew that there are electrons, protons, and even neutrons in the atom? So today we will be learning about how did the discovery of electron happened and who were the scientists who find out that there are electrons, protons, and neutrons in the atom. So first we will be discussing about the discovery of electrons, that how did this negatively charged particle in an atom was discovered. So this was discovered by Sir J.J. Thomson in 1897. So our today's topic is discovery of electrons. So this is the topic of today. So this discovery of electron was done by J.J. Thomson in 1897. Okay, so this was done by an experiment which is called as an experiment in which Sir J.J. Thomson used a discharge tube. So the discharge tube is basically a glass tube, just like a tube light, and it had the ends which were closed from both the sides. It was made of glass, and to these ends here and here J.J. Thomson placed 2 electrodes. Okay, electrodes. One was the positive electrode and one was the negative electrode. So this was a positive electrode, a negative electrode here, which is called as cathode. And this was a positive electrode known as anode. Okay, so negative electrode here, and both these electrodes were connected with a battery. So this was a very high voltage battery, and inside this discharge tube there was just empty discharge tube. Then Thomson filled a gas called as hydrogen gas into it, and at a very low pressure and high voltage. So these things were that he maintained a very low pressure with a very high voltage, and this was called as discharge tube. Okay, so when the current was passed, what did he saw? He saw that minute particles were given out by the cathode, which is a negative electrode. Okay, so these streams of particles were called as cathode rays. So he saw that a stream of light was passing through, which was called as cathode ray. Okay, so why were they called as cathode ray? Because when the current was passed, like imagine we are having 2 electrodes here and there is no metal here in the between, so there is no connection. There is a circuit which flows from a positive end towards a negative end with the help of a battery here. So what happens here, we'll see that the circuit is closed. Okay, but if we see that if a bulb glows or a current passes, that means there is something inside this in which there is a connection which is passing through it, or we should say that the circuit is not open, it is closed. So when he saw that a ray was visible from this negative end towards the positive end, which was a stream of very minute particles. So they were flowing from the negative end towards the positive end, and they were called as cathodes. The thing was coming from the cathode ray, and which is called as a negative electrode, so they were called as cathode ray. So cathode ray consists of small negatively charged particles which were called as electrons. So it was believed that from this negative electrode some particles was coming, and they were believed to be the negative particles which were called as electron. So the negative charged particles were called as electrons. Okay, so since they were passing from the cathode and these were called as cathode rays, so it was concluded that all the atoms contains negatively charged particles are called as electrons. So this is how the discovery of electrons were made, and Thomson explained this formation by this experiment. So in this experiment, again I'll tell you that a gas was taken in a discharge tube. This was a glass tube, and the gas was generally hydrogen gas was taken. So this gas consists of atoms. So hydrogen gas will have already obviously hydrogen atoms in it. So all the atoms contains electrons. We know now, but that time it was not known. So when the high electrical voltage was applied, the electrical energy was pushing out some of the particles from the atom, and those particles were electrons from the gas. So because the hydrogen is gas was filled in this, so it was hydrogen gas, very less gas at a very low pressure, and the high voltage battery was passed into it. So the atoms of hydrogen were having electrons in them, so those electrons were moving from this end towards this end. So the high electrical voltage causes the electrical energy to push, and some electrons from the atom of the hydrogen gas were moving out. Not the atoms, some of the electrons from the atoms were moving out. So these fast moving electrons, they were forming a cathode ray. So the formation of cathode ray shows that one subatomic particles are present in the atom, and these particles were negatively charged particles which are termed as electrons. Okay, so these were the electrons which were the negatively charged particles from the atom. So atom consists of proton, electrons and neutron. So this is how the discovery of electron was made, and the electron is the negatively charged particles found in atoms of all the elements. Okay, so this was a discovery was done by Sir J.J. Thomson, discovery of electron, which was done in a discharge tube by placing two electrodes, one negative and one positive. So positive electrode is called as anode and negative is called as cathode, and the rays were passed were moving from the cathode towards the anode. Since they were coming from the negative electrode, so they were called as electron. Okay, so what are the characteristics of electron that we have discussed in our previous lecture video? That the characteristics of electron are that electrons have mass, and electrons do not have actually mass. Okay, so mass of electron is negligible, it's very less. We have been done this. So the mass of electron is very less, and it is about 1 upon 1840 of the mass of hydrogen. Okay, so it is very, we know that the mass of hydrogen is very less. Mass of hydrogen is almost 1 U. So since it is 1 upon 1840 times of this mass, so it is very less. So the relative mass of an electron is like 1 upon 1840 U, which is absolutely very less. So it is less than 9 into 10 to the power of minus 28 grams, so which is very very less, negligible. So we don't consider the mass of the electron. So electron do not have any mass. Okay, but electron do have charge. It has charge. So electron has 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb of negative charge in it. So this is considered as one charge. So it has minus 1 charge. So electron is believed to have minus 1 charge in it. So electron do not have any mass, but electron has charge. Okay, after this we will be doing about the discovery of protons, because electron has 3 subatomic particles, which is electrons. Atoms have 3 subatomic particles, which are electrons, protons and neutrons. So we'll study that how did the discovery of proton happen. So the discovery of proton happened by Goldstein. DISCOV, spelling mistake. Discovery of proton. Okay, so discovery of proton was done by almost a same process. So again a discharge tube was taken, but this time the scientist was not J.J. Thomson, it was E. Goldstein. Okay, so E. Goldstein discovered the protons, which are positively charged particle, and it was done even before the discovery of electron. It was done in 1886. So the formation of cathode ray show that the atoms contains negatively charged particle, and we know that the model given by Sir J.J. Thomson called as the Christmas pudding model. In that model it was believed that the atom consists of all the positive charge, and there is a little negative charge which is embedded on the sphere. So but this was proved wrong by the Rutherford experiment, in which Rutherford concluded that the atom is not filled with the positive charge, but the atom has all the positive charge in the center, which is in the nucleus. Okay, so after that there was existence, it was believed that the atom is just a empty sphere and has all the positive charge in the center, and it's an electron which revolves around the nucleus. Okay, so this discovery of proton was done by E. Goldstein. So atom is an electrically neutral, we know that, because atom has positive charge as well as a negative charge. So it has been found that by the experiment that the atoms contains positively charged, which is called as proton. Positively charged particle must be there because there is negative charge particle. Particle is called as proton. Okay. So this existence was discovered by a scientist called E. Goldstein. So when Goldstein passed the electricity in the same discharge tube, just like the Thomson used, so he used here instead of the electrode, he used a perforated metal plate here, just like a plate which was having some holes in it. So and he went in the oven and he used an electrode. So again the connection was made, and it was attached with a high voltage battery, very high voltage battery. So when the current was passed, a faint red yellow glow in the above discharge tube was seen. So because this this anode here. So this metal plate which was perforated, that means it has holes in it, was taken as negatively charged electrode, which is called as cathode. Alright, and this positive charge electrode was called as anode. Always the positive charge electrode is called as anode and the negatively charged electrode is called as cathode. But here the cathode was taken as perforated, and also the Goldstein what did that he painted all the sides of these into a by the fluorescent material, because it helps to shine whenever any beam of light was passing through it. So what did he observe? That when the current was passed, again there was a gas taken. So gas was taken as hydrogen gas, and it was placed under a very low pressure and with a high temperature. So when the anode rays, when the current was passed, what did he saw? That there was a streak of light which was passing from this positive electrode towards this negative electrode, and because of the holes in this plate, the ray of light was scattering. So there were many rays were visible from these perforated plate. So these were called as the anode ray, or it was called as the canal ray, because the ray which was coming from the anode and which was passing through the electrode, this negative electrode which is called as cathode, they were passing like a canal. So it was also called as the canal ray. So the stream of the particles are called as anode ray because they were coming from the anode, and anode ray consists of positively charged particles. We know that anode is a positive electrode. So the mass and the charge of the anode ray particles depends on the nature of the gas taken in the discharge tube, because different gases give different types of anode ray. Here hydrogen gas was taken, so the different gases contains different positively charged particles, so they have different masses and they have different charges. So because electron do not have any mass but proton has mass, so hydrogen gas is the lightest gas and the hydrogen atom is the lightest atom, we know that. So the positive particles obtained from the hydrogen gas are the lightest and have the smallest charge. So the anode ray obtained from the hydrogen gas are made up of the same type of positively particles. All the particles coming from the hydrogen atom or the hydrogen gas were of same type. So these particles were called as protons, and the anode rays obtained from the hydrogen gas consist of proton. That means a proton is formed by the removal of an electron from a hydrogen atom. So a hydrogen atom consists of proton and electron. Okay, so it was believed that it contains protons and electrons because any atom contains protons and electrons. So Goldstein explained that the formation of proton, there are protons in an atom. So hydrogen gas consists of hydrogen atoms, and when the high electrical voltage was applied to the hydrogen gas, because here the gas was hydrogen gas, so the electrical energy removed the electrons from the hydrogen atom, and after the removal of the negatively charged atom from the hydrogen gas, a positive particle proton was formed. So the fast moving proton from here, this proton was moving from this positive electrode anode. So they were called as anode ray, and these hydrogen atom were very light atoms. So the hydrogen atom has the light positive charge because hydrogen atom is very light. It has very less mass, only of 1 U, and proton has also mass of 1 U. So that means all the mass in the hydrogen atom is the mass of proton, since the hydrogen atom does not have any neutron in it. Some isotopes have neutron and some do not have neutron. So this was a hydrogen isotope which does not have any neutron in it. So the hydrogen gas, the atoms of hydrogen were having protons, and the proton was moving from the positive charge towards this negative electrode. So because it was having pores in it, so they were passing like in the form of canal, so it is called as the canal ray. So again, the Goldstein discovered that the cathode ray was moving from because discovery of electron was done by the Thomson. So the negative electrode, from the negative side, the ray was moving from to this side. It was called as the cathode ray, which was discovery of electron. But here the electron, this particles was moving from the anode towards the cathode, and he could detect that the positive charge is having, so they were going in the opposite direction to the holes. So so they were called as canal rays, so they were called as protons. We'll be doing about the characteristics of proton. So these also we have discussed in the previous lecture video, but again we'll go through this. So proton are positively charged particles of an atom. So proton has mass, and proton also have charge in it. So all the mass in a proton is considered, it is around 200 times of the mass of an electron. It's quite heavy than electron. So the relative mass of a proton is equal to like 1.00 something AMU, which we don't take AMU, so it is unified mass which we take as 1U, which is approximately 1.672 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams, which is taken as 1U. And the charge in the proton is the magnitude of the opposite charge of an electron. So that means electron has -1 charge. That is why proton has the opposite charge in them, which is called as +1 charge, which is equal to 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. So it has a positive charge of 1 unit. So proton is having mass as well as charge. So proton has 1 U mass for each and every proton. Each proton has 1 U mass. U is unified mass, and plus 1 charge each proton have. So if an atom is having any atom is having 2 protons, that means it will have +2 charge, and then it will be having 2 electrons, so it will be having -2 charge also. So +2 and -2, which makes it as a neutral. So that is why atom is an electrically neutral charged particle, because it has the same amount of positive and a negative charge. So the mass of an atom is considered on the mass of protons and the mass of the neutrons. So we have been done about neutrons, discovery of protons and electrons. So they are one more particle which is important in an atom, which comprises the mass of an atom, because the mass of an atom depends upon the sum of the mass of proton and neutrons. So that means we should also need to study about neutrons, that who discovered neutron. So the discovery of neutron was done by James Chadwick in 1932. So after the discovery of protons and electrons, it was noticed that the mass of an atom is not only accounted on the basis of protons and electrons, because electrons do not have any mass on them. Only proton have mass on them, electron has charge. So there was something missing in an atom which scientists were neglecting. So example, a carbon atom is having 6 proton and 6 electrons. So electrons will only have charge and proton will only have charge, but the mass of carbon was more than 6U. Okay, so because the mass of electron is very small, so we can just neglect it, but the atomic mass of carbon should only be 6U, because proton has even every one proton has 1 U charge. So when there are 6 protons, there should be 6 U charge. but the mass of carbon is actually 12u. So that means there was something else which was missing. So it was it was cleared by the discovery of another subatomic particle which was called as neutron, which was done by James Chadwick in 1932. So this particle is called as neutron, and neutron is neutral particle is neutral particle. So this is found in nucleus of an atom. Proton and neutrons reside in the nucleus of atom. Okay, so all the atoms contains neutrons. Only the hydrogen do not contains neutron. So all the subatomic particles are not present in the hydrogen. Hydrogen is the only gas which does not have any neutron. It has only one proton. Hydrogen has only one proton, one electron, and no neutron. Okay, so but the other atoms have protons and neutrons. So the characteristics of neutrons are that neutron has mass of 1u and it does not have any charge. It does not have any charge, so no charge. Because the charge is so small that it is considered as 0, because it does not have any charge actually. So the neutron is having mass. So atomic mass of carbon, if we take, so it is like 6 proton and 6 neutrons. So every single neutron will have 1u charge, 1u mass. So 6 neutron will have 6u mass. So 6 plus 6, 12. So that means neutron have mass on them. Okay, so this completes today's lecture of I hope you understood well how did the discovery of neutron, proton and electron happened, and how did the discovery was very important. So we have discussed about the Thomson's model, the Ford model, and now we have also covered this discovery of proton, neutrons and electrons. Okay, so till then please do all the questions which I will be giving you in the homework, study and go through the lecture video, and you have any problem in the topic you can ask me so that we can continue with the topics in future also. Okay, till then take care and do your work. Thank you.